Welcome to session 2 and part 3, where we will be learning about amoebiasis, elephantiasis, ascariasis, and ringworms, right? Okay, so uh, Entamoeba histolica is a protozoan parasite in the large intestine of human which causes amoebiasis, amoebic dysentery. What is the protozoan parasite? It is Entamoeba histolica, right? So it is a protozoan that parasite in the large intestine of human which causes amoebiasis, amoebic dysentery. Symptoms of this disease include constipation, abdominal pain, cramps, stools with excess mucus and blood clots. Houseflies act as mechanical carriers and serve to transmit the parasite forms from feces to an infected person, or from feces of an infected person to food and food products, right? Thereby contaminating them. Drinking water and food contaminated by the fecal matter are the main sources of infection. Ascaris, the common roundworm, and Wucheria, the filial form, are some of the helminthes which are known to be pathogenic in man. So we have come to the next thing, ascariasis. Before that, let me again brief about amoebiasis. Amoebiasis, amoebic dysentery, is caused by the protozoan Entamoeba histolica, right? And symptoms are cramps, stomach pain, abdominal pain, constipation, stools with excess mucus and blood clots, housefly mechanical carriers through food, contaminating food, and drinking water and food contaminated by the fecal matter are main sources of infection. So there are 4 points, three I guess. Okay, first the protozoan parasite, then large intestine, then the symptoms, then housefly which act as mechanical carriers that contaminate the food and drinking water. Now, Ascaris, the common roundworm and Wucheria, the common roundworm and Wucheria, the filial worm, are some of the helminthes which are known to be pathogenic to man. Now, Ascaris, an intestinal parasite, causes ascariasis. Okay, so this is an intestinal parasite. So the symptoms of these disease include internal bleeding, muscular pain, fever, anemia, and blockage of the internal passage. What are the symptoms? The symptoms are, just a minute. Okay, so the symptoms are internal bleeding, muscular pain, fever, anemia, and blockage of the intestinal passage. The eggs of the parasite are excreted along the feces of the infected person, which contaminate the soil, plants, and soil, water, plants, etc. A healthy person acquires this infection through the contaminated water, vegetable, fruits, etc. Right? So it is an intestinal parasite. So ascaris, we have it is a roundworm. Very important to remember that it is a roundworm, and it is an intestinal parasite, and it causes. So point number 1, it is a roundworm, ascaris roundworm, and it is an intestinal parasite. Okay, number 2, and it causes the symptoms, then how it spreads, right? Okay, so the normal basic 4 points that we always used to study. Now coming to Wucheria. Okay, Wucheria bancrofti and Wuchereria malayi, right? So Wuchereria bancrofti and Wuchereria malai, very important because you will definitely forget this. And it is a filarial worm. The filarial worms cause slow developing chronic inflammation of the organisms in which they live for many years, usually the lymphatic vessels of the lower limbs, and the disease is called elephantiasis or filariasis. The genital organs are also affected, resulting in gross deformities like this. Okay, you can see how elephantiasis occurs, and the pathogens are transmitted to a healthy person through the bite by the female mosquito vectors. Okay, so what are the four important points? It is Wucheria, it's a filial worm. The types are Wucheria bancrofti and Wucheria malai, Wucheria, and so that's point number one. And point number two, it's chronic inflammation, lymphatic vessels of the lower limbs, and we can also say maybe genital organs causing deformities. And it is also known as elephantiasis filariasis, the first point. And the third one is it is transmitted through mosquito vectors, right? Okay, so yeah, fourth point, you could keep it as gross deformities. Okay, so next we will be learning about the many fungal diseases. Many fungi belong to the genera Microsporum, Trichophyton, and uh, Epidermophyton. Okay, so many fungi belonging to the genera uh, Microsporum, Trichophyton, and Epidermophyton are responsible for ringworms, which is one of the most common infectious diseases in man. Appearance of dry, scaly lesions on various parts of the body, such as skin, nails, and scalp, are the main symptoms of such of the disease. These lesions are accompanied by intense itching. Heat and moisture help these fungi to grow, which makes them thrive in skin folds, such as those in the groin or between the toes. Groins, right? Or between the, these are groins, or between the toes. So, ringworms are generally acquired from soil or by using towels, clothes, or even comb of infected individuals. So, number one is that they are from the genera Microsporum, Trichophyton, Epidermophyton. Wow. Okay, and they're ringworm, and you can see symptoms are scaly, dry, scaly lesions and intense itching, right? And main symptoms and intense itching, a severe case, no, not a severe case, another, it is accompanied by, then heat and moisture helps these fungi to grow, which makes them thrive in skin folds such as between the groin or between toes. And then ringworm is acquired by the soil or by using clothes, towels, or even the comb of the infected individuals. So we have seen about ascariasis, elephantiasis or filariasis, which caused by Wucheria, and we've also seen about ringworms and amoebiasis, of course. So the four diseases we have seen is for part 3. Let's meet in part 4.